There are fighters who win titles, and then there are legends who change the game forever. Khabib Nurmagomedov was the latter. When Khabib took off his gloves in the octagon after defeating Justin Gaethje at UFC 254, the world was shocked. The undefeated lightweight champion, 29 wins, 0 losses, just walked away. No rematch, no farewell tour, no decline, just perfection. But behind that quiet, emotional moment was a story filled with pain, family, faith, and purpose. This is the real story of why Khabib Nurmagomedov retired, the mountain boy from Dagestan. To understand Khabib's decision, you have to start from where it all began, in the mountains of Dagestan, a rugged region in southern Russia. Khabib didn't grow up like most athletes. His training ground wasn't a fancy gym. It was the cold mountain air, the rough mats, and the discipline of his father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. From a young age, Khabib's life revolved around two things: training and faith. His father made sure he learned respect before he learned how to punch. He taught him that fighting was not about hurting people. It was about testing your limits and defending your honor. You might have seen the old video, little Khabib wrestling a bear cub at 9 years old. That wasn't a stunt. That was life in Dagestan. Toughness was part of survival. His father, Abdulmanap, had a dream to make his son the greatest fighter in the world, but also to make him the most disciplined and humble one. And that's exactly what Khabib became, the rise of the eagle. When Khabib entered the UFC in 2012, not many fans knew who he was. But the moment he stepped inside the cage, everyone could see there was something different about him. His pressure, his control, his wrestling, it was suffocating. He wasn't flashy. He didn't trash talk. He didn't try to sell fights with drama. He let his skills speak for him. One by one, opponents fell. Rafael dos Anjos, Michael Johnson, Edson Barboza, Alia Quinta, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje. And it wasn't just that he beat them, he dominated them. Nobody even came close. But behind the success, Khabib always stayed grounded. While other fighters partied and celebrated, he would quietly thank God, hug his father, and return home to his village. He never forgot where he came from, and he never lost sight of why he fought. The relationship that defined his career. At the center of Khabib's story is his father, Abdulmanap. They weren't just father and son, they were teacher and student, coach and fighter, best friends. Khabib often said his father was his everything. Abdulmanap was the mastermind behind Khabib's legendary ground game. Every training session, every strategy, every fight, it was built around his father's philosophy. Train hard, stay humble, and fear no one but God. Even when Khabib was in the UFC spotlight, he never made a big move without his father's guidance. But then, in 2020, tragedy hit. The year that changed everything. When COVID-19 swept through the world, it hit the Nurmagomedov family hard. Abdulmanap caught the virus and was hospitalized in Moscow. For months, Khabib stayed by his side, praying for recovery. But in July 2020, his father passed away due to complications from the illness. It shattered Khabib. For a man whose entire career was built around his father's dream, losing him was like losing a piece of himself. For a while, Khabib didn't even want to fight again. He said in interviews that the motivation was gone, the fire, the reason. It wasn't the same without his father in his corner. But before his father passed, he had given Khabib one last message: finish what we started. So when Khabib accepted the fight against Justin Gaethje, it wasn't about money, titles, or fame. It was about legacy. It was about fulfilling his father's final wish. The final fight. October 24th, 2020, UFC 254. Fight Island, Abu Dhabi. Khabib walked into the octagon without his father for the first time in his career. His eyes said it all. This fight meant more than just defending his title. From the opening bell, Khabib fought with emotion, but absolute focus. He pressured Gaethje, took him down, and submitted him in the second round. A perfect performance. And then, the moment came. He dropped to his knees, crying uncontrollably. The world saw the pain, the relief, and the weight of years of dedication. When the fight was over, he took the microphone and said words that would echo forever in MMA history. "This is my last fight. There's no way I'm going to come here without my father. I promised my mother it would be my last." That was it. Khabib retired right there, as an undefeated champion, 29-0. The promise to his mother. One of the most powerful parts of Khabib's story is the promise he made to his mother. After his father passed, she didn't want him to fight anymore. She was afraid. She didn't want to see her son go through pain without his father by his side. Khabib respected that. In his culture and in his faith, a promise to your parents means everything. He said, "I talked to my mother for 3 days. She didn't want me to fight without my father. I promised her it would be my last fight. I have only one mother and I can't go against her." And that's why Khabib walked away. Not because he was tired, not because he was injured, but because family came first. The perfect ending. Most fighters don't get to choose how their careers end. They stay too long, lose their edge, and fade away. Khabib's story was different. He left at the top, undefeated, undisputed, and unbroken. No losses, no regrets, no scandals. Just a perfect record and a legacy that will probably never be matched. He didn't need the spotlight anymore. He didn't need the fame. He had already achieved everything his father dreamed of. Life after the octagon. After retirement, Khabib didn't disappear. He transitioned smoothly into coaching and mentoring. He began guiding young fighters, including Islam Makhachev, who would go on to become UFC lightweight champion himself, carrying the same Dagestani style, the same values, the same calm discipline. Khabib also launched his own MMA promotion, Eagle FC, giving upcoming fighters opportunities to showcase their talent. He became a mentor, a businessman, and most importantly, a family man. And in every interview since his retirement, his message has been the same. Money and fame come and go, but family and faith stay forever. What his retirement taught us. Khabib's story isn't just about fighting. It's about knowing when to stop. In a world that constantly pushes for more success, more fame, more wins, Khabib showed the power of enough. He taught millions that true strength isn't just in the cage, but in keeping your word, honoring your parents, and walking away when it's time. That's why people still admire him, not just for being undefeated, but for being disciplined, loyal, and real. The legacy of the Eagle Khabib Nurmagomedov will always be remembered as one of the greatest mixed martial artists in history. But beyond the titles, the wins, and the dominance, he'll be remembered as the man who proved that values matter more than victories. He fought with purpose. He lived with integrity. And when the time came, he walked away with peace. He didn't just retire. He completed the mission his father gave him. And that's why Khabib's story will forever be more than a fighter's tale. It's a lesson in honor, love, and knowing when your chapter is complete.